You won't believe what happened to me today, and if you're watching this right now, don't even blink, because what I'm about to tell you will pull your heart straight into the center of this moment. Before we begin, take 1 second, just one, to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Hub Stories, because what happened next changed my entire life. It started this morning, a normal day, a boring day, the kind of day where you don't expect your past to walk right back into your life wearing the same smile you thought you'd forgotten. I was sitting on a wooden bench outside my old school, a place I hadn't visited in years. The walls were peeling, the swings were rusty, and the echo of children's laughter felt like ghosts brushing past me. I wasn't there for nostalgia, I was waiting for my sister to finish a teacher training exam. As I stared across the empty playground, my mind drifted to my own childhood, those afternoons filled with marbles, chalk drawings, and silly promises we made believing the world couldn't ever change. And then I heard a voice behind me. Soft, familiar, almost too familiar. Armin. My heart stopped. I knew that voice. It couldn't be her. I turned slowly, and there she stood, Aisha. The girl who used to race me barefoot on these very grounds, the girl who laughed so hard she'd snort, the girl who once cried in this schoolyard because she broke her pencil and I gave her mine. And the girl I once made a promise to, a childish promise that we both should have forgotten. But she didn't forget. She smiled gently, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. You look surprised, she said. I froze. She had changed and yet she hadn't. She was taller, more graceful, but her eyes were exactly the same. Those big, warm eyes that once made me swear impossible things. It's been years, I finally said. How did you even, your sister, she laughed. She told me you'd be here. I wanted to see you. My stomach twisted. Why? What did she want now after all this time? We talked for a few minutes, awkward, polite, surface-level words that felt like they were floating above a much deeper ocean. Then she suddenly asked, do you remember what you promised me? My breath caught. Of course I remembered. I was 11, she was 9. She had fallen from the slide and scratched her knee, and I told her, don't cry. When we grow up, I'll marry you, okay? I'll always take care of you. A silly promise, a naive promise, a promise made before the world taught us that life doesn't wait for fairy tales. I chuckled nervously. You remember that? Her eyes glistened, not with humor, but with something heavier. I remember everything, she said. Because that day, you were the only person who stayed with me. I frowned. There was something in her tone. Something I didn't understand. The playground wind picked up, blowing dust between us. She took a slow breath and said the words I never expected to hear. You promised to marry me when we were kids, I never expected you to remember. But I did. My throat tightened. I didn't know what to say. Was this some kind of joke? Nostalgia? Or something deeper? I managed to whisper, Aisha, that was a childhood promise. I know, she said softly. But it saved me more times than you can imagine. My heartbeat grew heavy. Saved you, she nodded, and then her story spilled out, unraveling years I never knew about. After primary school, her family had moved away, farther than I imagined. Her father lost his job, her mother became ill, and their home turned into a battlefield of stress and pain. She worked part-time jobs, struggled through school, and fought to survive in a world that kept getting colder. Whenever things got really bad, she whispered, I used to think about that day, the only day. Someone made me feel safe. You. And that stupid promise. I felt a punch in my chest. A promise I barely remembered had been her shield through storms I never knew she faced. I didn't know what to do with that kind of weight. Aisha, I said gently, you didn't come back because you expect anything from me, right? She looked down, kicking a pebble gently. I don't expect marriage. I don't expect anything. I just wanted to see if you still had the kindness you had back then. Those words didn't sound right. They sounded like someone testing something more fragile. Why? I asked. It took her a moment to answer. Because, she said, voice shaking, I'm tired of standing alone. I wanted to know if the boy who once promised to take care of me still exists in the man standing in front of me. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the ache in her voice. And I didn't expect the guilt in my chest for forgetting something that meant the world to her. Come with me, I said suddenly. I didn't even know why I said it. But she followed. We walked around the old school courtyard. Children ran past us, laughing, the same laughter we once shared. It felt like time was folding back, stitching the past to the present. And slowly, Aisha began opening up more. She told me about the nights she cried alone, about the dreams she gave up, about the future she wasn't sure she believed in anymore. And the more she spoke, the more I realized that this wasn't about a childhood marriage promise. This was about a broken girl searching for one safe memory in a life full of pain. We sat under the old neem tree, the same tree where we once carved our initials with a stone. She traced the carving with her fingers. We were so small, she said, smiling sadly. We didn't know anything. Yeah, I replied, but maybe we knew more than we thought. She looked up at me, confused. I took a deep breath. Maybe we knew how to love without fear back then. Maybe we knew how to care without expecting anything. Maybe we knew how to believe in promises. Her eyes softened. Do you regret making that promise? No, I said honestly. I regret forgetting it. A silence settled between us, not awkward, not heavy, but gentle. Healing. The kind of silence that wraps itself around two people who finally understand each other. Then I said the words that changed everything. Aisha, I don't know what our future is. I can't promise something blindly. But if you are looking for someone who sees your worth, someone who wants to be there now, I'm right here. Tears formed in her eyes. She wasn't expecting that. Maybe she wasn't even hoping for it. But she needed it. She leaned her head on my shoulder, a small gesture, but it carried years of loneliness melting quietly away. Armin, she whispered, thank you. For what? For remembering me now, even if you didn't remember before. And for the first time in a long time, she smiled, not the guarded smile she walked in with, but the real one. The one from our childhood. The one that made my heart stumble when I was 11. As the sun began to set behind the school walls, painting the sky gold, I realized something. Some promises don't expire. They mature. They wait. They become something deeper than what they started as. And maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something we never expected. When my sister finally came out of the exam hall, she stared at us in confusion. Did I miss something? Aisha wiped her eyes quickly. I shook my head and smiled. Not yet, I said. But maybe soon. And as Aisha and I walked out of the schoolyard together, both of us knew that today wasn't about fulfilling an old promise. It was about rewriting it, with choice, with understanding, with something real. And if you're still watching this right now, hit that like button and subscribe to Goodness Hub Stories, because stories like this, stories about healing, hope, and second chances, are just the beginning.